Hi, my name's R.K. Fauth. I'll be reading a lyric essay in 5 parts called Out in the Country. 1. Before the options became limited, you didn't know what I meant by drive. My parents often used to take a drive. I have no idea where they went. The children weren't invited, but my best guess is my mother and father disappeared to ogle the exteriors of other people's houses. Anyway, I suggested we take a drive because what else were we going to do? You just go in one direction and see where you end up, I said. I grew up on Long Island, and now I hate the beach, but I love the feeling of an edge. I understand not everybody feels this way about edges. You certainly don't. But you're driving to find an edge and let me kiss it. We landed way out in the country. No trespassing, no fire stations, nowhere to hide. A humongous magnolia tree explodes from a hole in the side of an old silo. You point to quilts, the diamond patterns, their immunity to rain. A shack with a tin roof and other doomsday-type places whir past in the window. The fields roll themselves open, and the hills run after each other like italics. 2. The dog is dying to get out of the back seat because there are chickens crossing the road. The chickens go quick, not thinking of their inevitable farmhouse slaughter, just escaping for the sake of escape. Ecologically, it's all a serious issue. The cows ruminate on several world-changing ideas, none of which have to do with meat. The word ruminate comes from cows, you know. It means to chew cud, but humans use it to describe thinking, chewing with your mind. And the day came fat with an apple in its mouth. You asked me where to go, left or right, which road looks more harrowing? You mean because we're gay. Animals. You're talking about the edge. The whole pasture looked like our meal. O'Hara wrote that in a brief ode to the countryside, but you orphaned this breed of nothing a long time ago. Because your mohawk faces out the window and some of your freshly buzzed hair is in my mouth. And you ruminate aloud if your little Honda Fit looks a certain way, whatever that means. Look, nothing happens on this drive. Nobody gets hurt. But I realize I'll never be inside this valley deep enough not to see it so brightly. You say, in isolation, the endorphins pickings are slim, and I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about. Regardless, my sense of safari will pretty much eat anything. 3. Take me to see more of the barbed wire, the gray barns all loaded with ghosts, an axe fighting with a piece of wood, a lone figure swinging an axe in a backyard that is also the front yard. A wide, rushing creek cracks open the land, the water a gloss of sparkles over the white limestone shards. It looks like the sort of creek where someone would remember someone else drowning. Maybe from childhood, a someone that gets remembered in a song. You say nobody around here writes a will, but there are funeral auctions where precious family heirlooms are silently bid on by the public, where unmarked cardboard boxes are carted off by strangers. I say, do you think that's more like grave robbing or beachcombing? You couldn't afford any of Big Mama's old stuff. She was another one without a will because, hell if Mama had a lawyer. What I'm trying to say is, sometimes it feels like you give me these things for free. 4. Reminds you of the 45 your dad wore on his belt throughout Christmas dinner. Reminds you of the roadside baptism. Reminds you of the concrete basin that supposedly swallowed your sins and coughed up me, this heat, this thrill, 30 years later. I once read, poems flooded me. They fell on me like wild bees. I tell you that the image of the bees is about being devoured. A swarm of bees is the same color as an eclipse. I know we aren't safe out here, but at least we're full of words. I'm talking about the sublime, or something. It turns out the Polish writer who penned that line also confessed in a separate book, I have no talent. But perhaps it was just an issue of boundaries. 5. So what does it mean that I take joy in this kind of drive, dreaming my way through? To think I even know what it means to need to drive or to need to dream of deliberate peril, especially when the options seem limited, peril being something to do. The drive is over. We leave because we're kissing. We kiss because we're leaving.